Oh dear, I haven't eaten anything since yesterday, you know.
Would you like to eat some noodles, ma'am?
The store, it ain't surviving much longer.
Trouble Busters!
Even though it was a Sunday, there were no customers today. My name is Alan, and I'm the manager of a noodle restaurant. Although I took over the restaurant run by my grandparents, things are not going smoothly, as the number of customers is sadly decreasing. I thought there was no way I would let it fold, and I tried my best, but the monthly sales were going into the negative. I've been using my savings hitherto in my inheritance, but if things continue like this, I'll all run out. Could it be because the outside appearance just ain't it no more? Huh?
Thank you very much, young man. Oh dear.
Would you like some noodles, ma'am?
No, I'm fine, honey.
There were no customers today. The noodles will be wasted, so please, help yourself.
But,
On the house, ma'am. Please, wait a moment.
delicious, delicious. Thank you for the meal. Oh, I'm sorry, I actually got into a fight with my grandson, you see.
Is that so?
Well, I suppose I shall leave now. I'll definitely come back to pay for this sometime soon.
Ma'am, the second floor is my house, you see. I have a room left, so would you like to stay the night?
I can't cause you that much trouble.
No trouble at all. Please, make yourself at home.
I'm so sorry about all of this, young man.
If this month's sales are negative, I'm thinking of folding the business and letting go of the restaurant, ma'am. I don't mind at all if you stay here until then.
But it'll be such a shame that I won't be able to eat the noodles here. However, it really pains me to say something like this after receiving such a nice feast, but yes, the store, it ain't surviving much longer.
Excuse me?
No, that came out wrong. I wanted to say that it ain't surviving much longer at this pace.
At this pace? But what should I do?
Let's start by doing what we can to improve. As a thank you for taking care of me today, I would like to cooperate as much as I can.
But I don't have any savings anymore, and...
But I don't want the store to fade away like this. If we do something and it doesn't work, I'll agree to folding. How's that?
Yes, ma'am. I don't want to lose this store either.
If you say so, young man, I'll take advantage of the opportunity tomorrow while my grandson isn't at home and pick up a change of clothes and other things.
But wouldn't it be a good idea to talk to your grandson about the situation?
That won't be necessary, sweetie.
Oh, but ma'am...
My name is Maggie, sweetie, short for Magdalena. Hope things turn around for you very soon. Let's do our best, all right?
The next day, Madam Maggie actually did come to my house with her luggage. I told her about how the restaurant was thriving up until about half a year ago, when my grandparents were still running it, when it was about how I helped make the soba noodles so I know how good I am at making soba noodles from scratch, about how we had quite a few regular customers, and how they were disappointed that my parents had retired and stopped coming as a result. Although people say my noodles are delicious, I always worry about how I can't make it taste the same as my grandparents used to make it, and I confessed that to Madam Maggie. She stated that the underlying problem lay in the broth, and she taught me how to improve upon it. To my surprise, after a couple of different attempts, the taste came close to what my grandmother used to make. Delicious! This is it! This is it, Madam Maggie! Oh, Grandma's famous noodle soup!
Good. And one more thing that I believe is missing is the warmth the store had when your grandparents were here.
It's true that Grandma often talked to customers who came here to eat. Even first-time customers were having the time of their lives, talking to her, all happy and friendly. But since Grandma and Grandpa passed away one after another, I became desperate to make the food and serve it to customers. I don't think I ever had a conversation with a customer.
Don't be so depressed, sweetie. You've been working hard, haven't you? However, if the number of customers has decreased this much, there's not much point in improving the taste of the broth and customer service.
I suppose.
Why not take the plunge and change the exterior and interior?
What? No, ma'am. I don't have the resources.
I have a secret plan, Alan.
Now that I've come this far, I truly want to make the store prosperous and repay my grandparents as much as I can. With that in mind, I decided to take Madam Maggie's suggestion. Then, 2 months later...
It's really crowded.
It used to be a pretty famous restaurant, you know. Seemed like people spread rumors about how the taste had gone down. But apparently, it's really popular again now.
I'm so excited.
Welcome, welcome. Please, have a seat.
The store had become surprisingly prosperous. And with Madame Maggie's help, it became as warm and welcoming as it was when my grandparents ran it. Shall we finish up today? You must be tired after such a busy day.
Oh, pish-posh, sweetie. This is nothing for me.
I'm terribly sorry, sir, but we're... So this is where you've been, eh, Granny? Huh? Your grandson? A neighbor of ours told me that they had seen someone similar to you. I was sure there wasn't any way. I had passed by this store many times. It always looked like it was about to go out of business. You? Yes, sir? Me? You must be lying to my grandmother. What the hell did you do? Lying to her?
I'm not being fooled at all, grandson.
Then why the hell are you here? Yeah, Granny. Explain all this.
And now you know the truth.
What the? Just by treating you to some noodles. Enough about this. We're going home, Granny. This is not the time to be lazing around at a noodle restaurant, Granny. We're going home. Granny, please, let's go home together. Please share some of your inheritance with me. I feel like these two gentlemen are saying something selfish, but look, did you guys come to pick up Madame Maggie just for her money? And what if we did? What are you gonna do about it, bucko? You? Madame Maggie must have definitely felt lonely after being away from her own family home. And yet...
It's all right, Alan.
You have no business in this, so you just frickin' keep quiet, eh? Won't make any progress in the discussion.
Brandon! Alan, sweetie, I'm sorry I've been silent about this up until now. I'll tell you everything now since it's a good time to be frank.
So, what exactly happened? Up until now, I couldn't ask Madame Maggie because of her taciturn atmosphere, but I've always been curious about it.
My husband and I raised these two boys together, you see. They borrowed more and more money over and over again. Every time the old man who spoiled you boys paid for all of your debts, didn't he?
Is that true?
Indeed. And when I thought they'd started working, they quit seemingly overnight, and it felt impossible for them to find a regular job.
Oh, that must have been stressful.
Not only that, but they kept on coming back to us, despite us living on mere pensions.
But it was Grandpa who told us to tell you guys if we had any trouble. For real. Grandpa told us that if we told you instead, you'd get mad at us again. So he instructed us to tell him secretly.
I don't remember raising you two to be such bastards who would immediately rely on us when you weren't even in serious trouble. What does your grandfather's words have anything to do with this? It'll make sense if you think about it a little.
Huh, the old man just did what he thought was right. Don't hold us accountable for what happened, eh?
What he thought was right, you dare say? You boys were the ones who made it happen. I felt like I had been shown exactly what it meant to bite the hand that feeds you.
Oh my.
Not only did you two never go to see him while he was in the hospital, you had the audacity to come to the funeral in the middle of the ceremony. And all you ever talked about was the inheritance. You two are completely rotten bastards.
There's nothing we can do about what's happened in the past, Granny. I'm working properly now. What more do you freaking want from me? For real. Right now we're working stable jobs and we have a family. It's much better than not doing anything at all, ain't it? Besides, I think I make a lot more money than this guy.
And you are in debt, so no matter how much you make, it'll all turn into the red. If it wasn't, no one would be running out of money and you'd have no reason to come here to ask for support. And besides that, Brandon, even though you've gotten yourself a family, you've racked up debts because of all the gambling you do. Who are you to tell me you're better off? Both of you are in so much trouble because you borrowed money and you can't pay it back. I guess you two thought that if you kicked me out, you would get all of your grandfather's inheritance.
Well, won't your late husband's legacy be passed on to your grandchildren? We're all saying this because it won't. Yep, not even a single penny.
My husband left behind a will, you see.
A will, you say?
Indeed, seems like before I even knew it, he had created it properly through an accomplished lawyer.
May I ask what was written in the will, Madam Maggie?
I leave everything to my beloved wife, Magdalena Smith, who have caused so much trouble over the years.
I see. I don't freaking get it! It can't be possible to have nothing left to us! Call us cute and adorable, do you? Deceived by frickin' words! If I may, Madam Maggie has had a hard time raising you, spending so much money on you guys and whatnot. I suppose Mr. Smith also struggled, and that's why. What in the...
And how dare you act as though you frickin' understand everything, eh, buddy? We even suspected the old banshee forced the old man to write the will. Besides, she's just been staying at home for 30 years, so I don't think she did much effort at all.
She could have done so much more with the money she spent on you, Mr. Clifford. It must have been difficult for Madame Maggie to raise children at her age. Normally, you, the grandchildren, are in a position where you should be filial. Wouldn't you agree?
What are you laughing at?
Even Mr. Allen here, who has only heard what we just discussed, can understand all this. Why in the hell do my own grandchildren, who I'd been with for 30 long years, don't have a clue what's going on? And you were loved so much on top of that. Forced him to write a will? Enough with the stupid nonsense. It was so pathetic that I couldn't help but laugh.
And?
Ah, yes. After my husband passed on, Clifford came to live in the house, saying that he was kicked out of the apartment he originally lived in. It's only natural since you hadn't paid any rent or utilities. I was left with no choice but to let you live with me. But you asked me every single damn stupid day about the inheritance. It was agony. I told him it was getting done, but I knew that I was definitely going to get screwed, so I deliberately made slow progress.
And you said it was taking time. Taking so much time. When you were slacking on everything.
It shouldn't matter to you boys when I do the procedure and how it progresses. And also, apparently Brandon heard that Clifford was now living at home, so he should live with him as well.
If things continue on like this, I'll end up getting a divorce and I won't be able to meet my daughter. I'm not asking you to give me the entire amount, but at least give me the amount to pay off the debt. Sure, I won't ask for the full amount either, but please stop talking about demolishing the house, please. But also, cover for the debt?
This really is so pathetic. Unfortunately, I don't have much of Henry's legacy left. Also, the person who will buy the land has already been decided.
What? What do you mean there isn't much left?
I took the opportunity to use most of it for this restaurant, you see.
No, the renovation costs.
Yes, I have a secret plan, Alan. I'm so sorry for deceiving you like that. It was a lie that there was a throwaway bank account that had the money. After all, if I told you about how it was my inheritance from my husband, you would have never have let me fund your renovations.
Granny, you've definitely been deceived. There must have been a lot of heritage.
I didn't do anything to deceive her.
Alan didn't know anything. There's no reason to blame him whatsoever.
If that's the case, frickin' sell the store and make some money, damn it. Give me Grandpa's legacy.
Shut the hell up.
Because, Granny, why would you go to such lengths for a stranger like him?
This restaurant is special to me too, you see.
Huh?
Actually, this was Henry's favorite restaurant when he was alive.
Mr. Smith was a regular.
Seeing a couple about the same age as us doing their best to run the business was always inspiring to us. No matter when we came, the atmosphere was warm and the food was comforting. We were coming here almost every week, you see.
Were you there with him, Madam Maggie?
Oh, I came here with Henry many times, so I personally know your grandparents very well, Alan. We got along very well, and they were such wonderful people.
Is that so? When I was helping out, I was mostly in the back and never went out to the customers, so I didn't know anything about all this.
However, they often boasted about how even though you seemed to be busy with your own work at the time, you would help out in your free time.
Were they seriously talking about me that way?
Henry also used to say that no matter how hard the work was, no matter how much money Clifford and Brandon caused him to worry about, eating the noodles made by your grandparents here and talking to them always made him motivated to work harder again.
But that's...
It was a true shame that the two managers passed away, but their kindness has been passed on, all intact, unto their grandson, Alan. Alan here has helped me feel so much better than my grandsons, who only ever think about themselves and cause trouble for others, ever could. I don't want to leave any money behind when I leave this world. I thought to myself, if that's the case, what's wrong with wanting to use it on Alan, who helped me so much?
No, please!
I don't regret a single choice I made. On the contrary, I'm so happy that the store has come back to life with its grace and warmth.
Madam Maggie.
I'm sure old Henry in heaven is dancing a little jig over how well I did.
There ain't no way!
Enough! You should be ashamed of yourselves for not being the kind of person who wants to save someone before complaining and demanding money from them.
After that, Brandon's wife ended up finding out about her husband's debts and divorced him. Now, he seems to be repaying his debts while living with his brother Clifford in a shared wooden outhouse of an apartment, with no shower or toilet, and that looks like it would fall over with but a warm breeze the wind blows. Maybe this is what cause and effect is truly all about. On the other hand, as for me, my restaurant became so successful that it was featured on national television just a few days ago. By incorporating both old-fashioned familiar flavors and modern new menu items, the restaurant had a steady stream of customers every single day.
Hello. Manager Allen, your interviewee is here.
Coming! Wha?
What is it, sweetie? Beauty got your tongue?
Huh? Madam Maggie, you... No, I'm not so...
Right this way, sweetie.
I have a feeling that something really good is gonna happen very soon. Trouble Busters!